All righty, go ahead and start this recording. And I see we've got some folks logging on now. We're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to join our call, and then we'll be getting started. As folks are joining us, we'd love for you to drop your name and your organization into the chat box so we can see who all is here in our virtual space with us today. And we are very excited to welcome you to our informational session about United Way of Larimer County's 2021 Make a Difference Day. We're very much looking forward to this year's projects, and we're just absolutely delighted that you're all going to be joining us on our webinar today. For those who do not know me, my name is Morgan Vanek. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am the Senior Nonprofit Development Manager here at United Way. If you've been with us on a webinar before, you probably know that I'm the person that's typically facilitating some of those virtual training events like this one. If you do run into any problems during our webinar, please do feel free to send me a private chat. I will do my very best to help you sort it out. And I also want to let everybody know that we are recording our session today so that anybody who's not able to make it right now is able to come back and watch it later on. And before we get started, I just want to do a quick technical orientation of this Q&A feature we're going to be using today. We'd love for you to put your questions into the Q&A box rather than in the chat box. And that just helps us to ensure that we see your question and it doesn't get lost as those comments kind of start scrolling through the chat box. That Q&A feature also gives you an option to ask your question anonymously if you'd prefer to do that. If you do pull up that Q&A box, you'll be able to see the questions that others have submitted. You can click the little thumbs up if you see something that you also would like to have answered, and that'll make sure that those most popular or common questions rise straight to the top, so we know we should address those first. And finally, you can also comment on other people's questions if there's something you see that you'd like to add to, or you want some further clarification on. And I also want to let our folks know when you leave the webinar today, a very short anonymous survey is going to pop up in your browser. And we would really appreciate it if you could take 10 or 15 seconds to answer those questions so that we can use your feedback to improve the quality of our future Nonprofit Excellence Series events. And just one more thing before we dive in, I just want to take one moment to thank our sponsor for the Nonprofit Excellence Series, which is Comcast. I think everybody knows, right now and over the past year, having an internet connection at home is more important than ever. And Comcast is providing affordable internet service for as little as $9.95 a month for qualifying families in Larimer County through the Internet Essentials program. I know a lot of our partner agencies and folks who are here today are serving folks that qualify for public assistance programs like SNAP and Medicaid. And those folks have by and large been referring clients to this program. And if it sounds like something that might benefit your clients as well, please do pop on over to internetessentials.com to learn more when you have a free moment. And now I am going to turn it over to Ben Letourneau to get us started. Ben is serving as an AmeriCorps Vista focused on volunteer engagement here at United Way, and he is going to fill us in on all things Make a Difference Day. So take it away, Ben.
All right, good morning, everyone. Morgan did a very succinct job of taking my first two slides, but that's fine. I'll go ahead and reintroduce myself as well. I'm gonna add one more thing to everyone's introductions. I've seen some in the chat, and it's good to see everyone, but I have one more ask of you before we get started, while we're waiting for a couple more people to trickle in, is do you have any Make a Difference Day projects in the works or that you're considering? Because that's very great to hear the community, to see if we can get any ideas across organizations. And then I'll go ahead and ask my co-host Olivia to introduce yourself in just a second. Let me pull that chat back up too. All right. So I'll just go ahead and reiterate what Morgan just said. My name is Ben Letourneau. I am the AmeriCorps Disaster Response Volunteer Manager, VISTA, with United Way of Larimer County. I just spent about 10 weeks as a summer associate with Volunteers of America and was shared with United Way. So I've been here for just over 3 months. And I'll have my co-host introduce herself as well.
Hello, everybody. My name is Olivia Polizzi. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am the current community impact intern for United Way. I am doing this internship as part of my graduation requirements for my Bachelor of Science in Human Development and Family Studies from Colorado State University. I graduate in December, and I'm so excited for this opportunity and really excited to talk about Make a Difference Day with you all.
All right. Well, let's see. All right, everyone's basically put in their introductions. Let's go ahead and get started. Take it away, Olivia. Oh, sorry, we have an agenda really quick. So introductions, I'm gonna do a quick poll before we get into our background of what Make a Difference Day is. And then we'll do another quick poll before we talk about NOCO volunteers and that whole technical side of things as well. And to wrap things up, we'll kind of reiterate some key points, talk to you about some key dates moving forward, and we'll open up to question and answers. Yeah. Morgan, let's go ahead and do the first poll. All right, so let's take a look at these polls. Well, this is very good that we're getting some new people in who have not been involved, so this is great. This session will be very hopefully helpful for y'all. And for you, those of you who are completely new to the area. All right, great. This is awesome. Let's go ahead and get started then.
So what is Make a Difference Day? It seems like there's some of you who are brand new, which is super exciting. And also just to give a quick refresher for those of you who are returning. Make a Difference Day was created in 1992 by, I believe it was the US Weekend newspaper, which was the second largest newspaper at that time. And this was during the leap year. And really the purpose of this was to convince people to take that extra day in the year to give back to their communities and to volunteer, which I think is super amazing. And I'm so glad that we've stuck with it. United Way of Larimer County has led the event here in Larimer County since 2002. And it's been the largest volunteer week, a week of volunteer service in Northern Colorado. Back in 2020, we had 32 projects with 231 volunteers, and we partnered with over 50 agencies. I know that we've done stuff like landscaping projects, painting. We had painting here at United Way. And so there are lots of different opportunities to really get involved and think of projects that are going to benefit your organization and your community. So if we can get to the next slide. So this is our 23rd annual Make a Difference Day, which is super exciting. So Make a Difference Day is obviously an annual event, and we host it on the 4th Saturday of every October. So this October, it is going to be the 16th through the 23rd in order to give everyone an opportunity to really get their opportunities out there and to get the volunteers that they need. So it really allows us to support our community and our nonprofit partners, especially as we continue to make our way through this pandemic. Social connection and social relationships are really important for volunteers who maybe this is their first chance to really get out and do something and connect with others, for the clients in which you serve, and also for the people in your organization. Many of them may have been working from home or are just now getting back into the swing of things. And so this is a really great way to get people connected. We know that social connection is really important for mental and physical health and well-being. And so this can really help boost and ensure well-being in your workplace. And this is also by hosting a Make a Difference Day event. This is also a really great way to highlight all of the amazing work and services that you've been providing in our community. United Way also acts as the coordinating agency to support your efforts in volunteerism. So we are here to help you in recruiting, coordinating, and communicating with your volunteers, and ensuring that your projects are correctly posted in the NOCO Volunteers website. So before we talk about that, I want to quickly go over some COVID-19 guidelines for Make a Difference Day. So really, we're asking you to adhere to Larimer County's established guidelines. So Larimer County recommends that, and I'll read this off directly from their website. They're asking people to get vaccinated as soon as possible if they're eligible, to wear a mask indoors or in crowded outdoor spaces, whether you're vaccinated or not, to ensure your mask fits snugly and consider a surgical KN95, to ask everyone to wear a mask indoors, monitor yourself and your family, and stay home if you have symptoms. Get tested if you have COVID symptoms or if you've been exposed, and practice social distancing. So some guidelines you may consider are having stations spaced at least 6 feet apart. We highly encourage contact tracing, and so having a log of attendees in order to really help that effort, requiring masks and face coverings, practicing cleanliness and having available sanitation stations or processes for your volunteers, and also really keeping in touch with them and having frequent and detailed communication. So while we as United Way are going to be putting out our own COVID guidelines for volunteers to view, we're asking that you as organizations are really specifying your COVID guidelines in your initial post on the NOCO Volunteers website. And this is so you can really take these guidelines and make sure that you are ensuring the safest environment possible for your volunteers and in the workplace or workspace that you plan on hosting your task. I will ask that you include stuff about mask wearing if that is appropriate, sanitation and cleanliness, social distancing, and if your organization has any vaccination requirements, please put that also in your post. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ben to talk a little bit more about NOCO Volunteers itself and what the process of posting looks like.
All right, thank you, Olivia. We're going to do another quick poll before we get started into the NOCO volunteer section of this. All right. Well, I can just say that 50% of you have agency profiles on NOCO Volunteer. That makes me very happy. One of my predominant roles as a volunteer manager Vista here at United Way is coordinating with nonprofits and making sure NOCO Volunteers is a continually functioning site. So I'm very glad for that. For the other 50% of you who do not know or don't, I'm more than happy to speak with you one-on-one, and we'll be absolutely be talking about kind of like the more general details about NOCO Volunteers as I move forward. And then for the second part, this is actually going to be a great section for you, because I'll be talking about the importance of the website and how to kind of give a small run-through tutorial on opportunity creation. And so let's start with that. So what is NOCO Volunteers? So NOCO Volunteers is a volunteer platform implemented in March of last year to fill the need for a more intuitive volunteer database. It is a platform that connects volunteers with nonprofit agencies and the volunteer opportunities that they have available. NOCO Volunteers is a great platform to coordinate and consolidate all opportunities around specific events or dates across all agencies under one banner, so volunteers can find it and easily sign up for opportunities they are interested in. And by banner, I'll explain that in just a second. But why should you use NOCO Volunteers? Very short, it's very easy to use. It's a very front-end user-friendly site, and you have multiple ways of gaining help and access to question and answer and technical support if you have any questions. So this site is, of course, intentionally built to support and enhance nonprofit agencies and the volunteer opportunities that they create. As an agency partner, you get this service, NOCO Volunteers, completely free. United Way of Larimer County has purchased the rights for the site, so what that means is that any Northern Colorado agency partner can get this service at absolutely no charge. Currently, there is over 4,200 individual volunteers in the database of NOCO Volunteers, which is roughly double from what it was during Make a Difference Day last year. There's currently 115 agencies registered in NOCO Volunteers, and they use the site as a way to build volunteer capacity. As I mentioned before, there's unlimited support with both United Way of Larimer County and Galaxy. Galaxy Digital is the group and the UI that has built NOCO Volunteers as a platform. Galaxy is a very responsive support system. I have personally used it a lot when trying to get my feet wet and know the ins and outs of NOCO Volunteers. We usually get a response from the support team or someone within that team within 24 hours of creating that help ticket on their site. They have an extensive catalog of both helpful videos as well as webinars that you can sign up for if you want to ask questions in real time with a person speaking with you. And to go back to the submitting a ticket and getting a quick response, is that not only is it a quick response, but they won't just kind of brush you off and give you an answer and then leave you be. They will have a conversation with you, and they will make sure that you understand what you're needing to know before they let you go and continue to work. And I greatly appreciate that compared to other tech help sites. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this PowerPoint, and I'm going to give you a rundown of what NOCO Volunteers looks like. All right, so hopefully everyone can see the web browser I just brought up. This is what NOCO Volunteers looks like when you are unregistered, when you have when you're not logged in, and this is what you first see as an agency or as a volunteer. Is you'll come in and you'll see the logo, of course. You can have the volunteer now, which is the volunteer sign up, and then right below this is your agency or registration link. I'm not going to go through agency registration. It's pretty much a self-filled form that we will review and approve. And if you have any questions about that, creating that organization on NOCO Volunteers, you can absolutely reach out to me. And then right below that is 3 banners. And this is what I was mentioning earlier with banners or having opportunities under one banner, is that we have Make a Difference Day 2021, which all opportunities that you create and other nonprofit agencies create now until the deadline will have an option to put under an initiative banner, which is what that is. And so when a volunteer goes and looks for I want to serve during the Make a Difference Day week, this will be the one-stop shop for all of those opportunities. We also have COVID-19 volunteer needs. That's been an ongoing banner for over a year now. And then the Larimer County's fire recovery. It's been something that's been going on for a little while now. But let's go ahead and log in, and I'll kind of show you what an agency page looks like when you are that agency manager. So when I log in, I'm part of United Way of Larimer County. On your left side here, this navigation dashboard is not editable by you. This is just kind of a site-wide standard that I create and that we manage. Of course, we have all the opportunities. We have an agency listing if you want to see who else is on here. And then we have those 3 banners that I showed you earlier, as well as Colorado 211. So everything from this side over, all this right side, this is completely editable by you or by your HC representative who manages this profile. So we can view it as if you were a volunteer. We can edit the information through here, and we can create opportunities right here. So that's what I'm gonna mainly show you today is how to create an opportunity. After you create an opportunity, all of them will be listed down here, and it'll be shown if it's private or active or public, I should say. And I'll explain that in just a second, and I'll explain what an initiative is in just 1 second. So let's go ahead and create a mock Make a Difference Day opportunity. And so let's say, let's do yard cleanup. Let's do yard cleanup as my random Make a Difference Day initiative. Now, after, of course, title and description, very obvious. I want to have my time that the event is taking place, the date, because we have a whole week that we're allowing these opportunities to be on. And then I want a very detailed description of what this is like. And this is where you need to pull out all of your classic marketing skills and really sell it to the volunteer why you should be interested in volunteering for your opportunity. And me, Olivia, and our other interns will be reviewing these opportunities and working with you and your organization to make your opportunities the most attractive they can be and look good looking to volunteers, and to make sure that everything is accurate to your liking. Now, when I was saying public and private, this is a more of a technical side of things. It's the privacy setting. Most of these are going to be under public. But if you, let's say you have a corporate group or just a small volunteer group that wants to do a specific project and they would like to not have anyone else there besides those whom they know in their group, you can select it to private, and you can individually send them the link to sign up so you can track it that way. But for the most part, most of you will have it under a public setting. And now what an initiative is just a fancy term for an umbrella group grouping, basically, an umbrella grouping. So when I click on initiative, I'm going to want to click Make a Difference Day 2021, because when I create this opportunity, it'll go to that initiative page of Make a Difference Day 2021. And then as I move down, I want to say how long things are going to be. And then duration means how long the opportunity overall is going to last. Is it an ongoing thing that needs to run over multiple weeks? For the most part, you're going to choose a happens on date or a custom shift. Custom shifts means that you're allowed to create one opportunity with multiple times it takes place. Let's say that you want to have a group clean up some elderly folks' yards, and that we're going to be raking multiple properties on different days. So you can create it on custom shifts. You can choose the date. I want to start it right on that Monday, the 18th. I want it to start at 10 a.m. I want the shift out. I think we'll be raking for 2 hours. And then I think we can have 8 people max per that shift. And then I can add the shift, and it goes in right here. I can delete it if I want to. And then these fields clear again, and I can go back in and add more if I wanted to. Now, United Way of Larimer County doesn't necessarily ask for a background check. You can choose so if you want to. That is up to you. If you have your own background check that you want to run, that is perfectly fine as well. Allow team registration. Basically what this means is, so teams are a term used in NOCO volunteers for, let's say one volunteer has a profile, but their friends, their 3 or 4 friends don't, but they want to all volunteer. Instead of, for the sake of time, they will just sign up as a team, and it'll create a reserve slot in your shift capacity. So it'll be one person with so many slots reserved underneath them. And minimum age, I know all of you have some requirements on who you want to be at your volunteer opportunities. Usually when it requires some kind of labor, I list 16, and then the maximum age can be very specific if you want to, but I usually just set it to 120 and allow those older folks to make that decision if they think it's the right choice for them or not. And then we have family friendly. Is it going to be outdoors? Yes. And so when I click on yes for outdoors, we ask you for an inclement weather plan. So most times it'll read something like, in case of inclement weather, we will cancel the project for that day and reschedule. Something like that. If you would like to be more detailed, that's great. We'll also be reviewing those as well to make sure that volunteers are safe in case of severe weather. And now attributes are kind of like your search terms if you want to really make your opportunity specific. So I can put like, oh, this is pet friendly. If it would let me, pet friendly. I want to have group friendly as well. And you can be creative with this. This can be any number of list of things. And I see that we have a question in our Q&A box from an anonymous person. Are some kinds of volunteer projects better for Making Difference Day than others? Is there any kind of project we're not allowed to do? So that is a good question. In general, from my experience doing some history reading on Make a Difference Day in Larimer County, there's no bad answer. It's like there's no bad question. There's no bad answer. There's no bad opportunity. I think it's up to what you have the capacity for and how creative you and your group can be to see if you can create a opportunity that either plays to your strengths or takes care of something that you think needs to be done in the community that you have the capacity for. Is there any kind of project you're not allowed to do? Let me try it. Let me put some thought into that one as I keep going. But right now, my fast answer to that is, as long as it's not against the terms of service of United Way, meaning like it's not restrictive in any way, or it's let's say that it's like you're not putting your volunteers in danger. Basically, a lot of these opportunities during Make a Difference Day are those for unskilled labor. And so what you can do is in your description, make it very plain that I need to have skilled laborers for this opportunity. And you can explain that, what that means, give further background of what you're looking for, and then it's up to a volunteer if they want to continue to sign up or not. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, please feel free to reach out and email me or ask me something more, a follow-up question to that. But to round out this opportunity is you'll have a virtual opportunity, yes or no. If it is a yes, then you don't need to have an address. You just need to have a zip code. And if it's no, of course, you want to tell your volunteers where they need to go. I've seen some opportunities where it is up on private property. Some of these like fire recovery, so they're not going to give out people's locations on the website, and they will email them like a specific meetup location before they get to the private property. And you can do that there. You can do that in your communications with these groups as it gets closer to the date. And then I want to have an impact area. And so these are 4 pillars of United Way. Most of them are going to fall into community engagement, but it is up to your discretion which of these best fits your opportunity. And then interests and abilities. This is similar to the attributes kind of thing, but more of a selected list. So I'm going to say this is physical labor and I want to say, let's say crisis support, because we're digging people out of a bad yard. So we can pick as many a number of these as we want to, and then if your opportunity requires to have bilingual speakers, you can have that as your cluster. And then the last important part of this is the waiver. We already have like a United Way standard waiver that they sign, but if you have a specific one that you want them to digitally sign or to print out and bring the day of, they can do that as well. Or you can print out your own waivers and have them on site for the day of that event. So the system's going to yell at me that I didn't do anything right here. Yep. Okay. So this won't get posted. This is just an example, but what happens after I click create opportunity is that it'll go into this Make a Difference Day initiative banner. And so far we have 7 signed up. Some of them are ongoing, some of them have a specific happens time. So let's take a look at the Hearts and Horses Make a Difference Day, just as a like completed example. Very nice, thorough description, additional details. They're asking for 15 and over. It is outdoors. They have a registration end date, and which is the same day as the day of the event. Perfect. And you can sign up as either a team or as an individual. So that just kind of gives you what the volunteer sees when they click on your opportunity. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to the PowerPoint. And I'll give a couple a minute or so if anyone has any questions on that. All right. So I will go ahead and start wrapping things up here. The next steps and key dates. So at the end of this, at the conclusion of this webinar, we will start reaching out to different agencies, both those of you who attended today and those of you who were unable to make it and who are on the NoCo Volunteers website, and we will start reaching out to you to see if you have any questions, if you need any help, creating opportunities, questions about your capacity to have an opportunity during Make a Difference Day. And so a couple of key dates moving forward after this webinar is that we are asking all nonprofit agencies to have their Make a Difference Day projects submitted on NoCo Volunteers by September 29th, which is a Wednesday, is the last Wednesday in the month, and is a week and a half from today. So by what we mean from submitted is that we just want you to have it on the website. You can go back in and change the details, the shift hours, if you need to change them. We're just asking you by that point, because we want to give volunteers enough time to go in, read your descriptions, look at everyone's opportunities, and have a chance to have time to decide and sign up for your projects. United Way will be having and also while reaching out with y'all, we will have like agency project lead coordination with y'all. We will have 1 or 2 people that will come out the day of those opportunities to make sure things are okay, to kind of introduce themselves and have that United Way presence to answer any questions. And we will be sending out multiple emails and social media posts almost weekly, I think, on our different platforms about Make a Difference Day, promoting different people's opportunities, and kind of doing the same thing that we're doing with y'all, which is to, if you have any questions on the volunteer side, to reach out to us to ask any questions. And volunteers will be registered. The deadline for them is the 16th. Now, y'all can have different deadlines for yourself, but this is for just the whole week, the 16th to the 24th. We want to have most people sign up by that 16th when the week starts. And then all these projects will take place from Saturday, the October 16th to Saturday, the 24th. Now I see that we have an unanswered question real quick. So that's a great question. We had a question in our Q&A box, which is it our responsibility to find volunteers for our project, or does United Way help promote it / find people to fill our spots? So it is a two-way street. We will help promote on our site, as well as different promotions that we do, but also is you can use our site as a way to direct people to NOCO volunteers to sign up. So it's both. It's basically the answer. And there's another question in chat. If someone brings a friend with them who wasn't registered, can they still participate? That is a good question as well. So if you guys, y'all who are at the service site have the capacity to take on more people, I would not say no. I don't think that's the service way to turn away people who want to help. I think at the conclusion, or when they do arrive, have some kind of note that you can either send to me personally, because I manage the NOCO volunteers technical side, or you can go in afterwards and make sure that people are accounted for either in hours or in that physical listing of another person who was there. And we can cross that bridge when it comes to it as well. That's something that I or my team can work with any one of you on that.
And with that, we will have, like Ben said, ambassadors at those sites. So also consider having extra waivers for liability reasons.
All right, we got another question. I'm just so happy y'all are asking questions today. This is great. Can I post a link on NOCO volunteers for volunteers to sign up through our organization's volunteer database instead of having the sign up on NOCO volunteers? Yes, so we have some agencies who will have a more specific volunteer sign up process, and they will, in their description of their opportunity, will like put in big bold letters, like, please go to this link to further register. And that's perfectly fine. We are okay with that. NOCO volunteers really also can just act as a second way for people to loop into your organization. All right. And we have another one. Does United Way offer any other opportunities / events like this during other times of the year to help us find new volunteers other than just the website? That's a good question. So I can give you a soft answer to that question. I am still new to the area. I have never I've participated in Make a Difference Day in my home state, but I have never had like this continued experience of recruiting those. But I know that we do have National Volunteerism Month. I think it's April of every year is National Volunteerism Month. So it's similar to Make a Difference Day, but for a whole month long. It's another great way to recruit new volunteers in the community and to make your services and your opportunities known through NOCO volunteers and other local promotions.
Yeah. And Ben, I was just going to add as well that we also do Family Volunteer Day in November.
Yes,
So there will be another opportunity just right in November.
All right. Good questions. All right, well, if anyone has any further questions, they can either type them in the Q&A box or they can email me personally. I will, I'll drop my email address in the chat, and you can feel free to reach out to me at any time. But again, thank you all for coming. Let's make this Make a Difference week super successful this year. I'm so happy that y'all came, and this was a beneficial webinar today. I sure hope so. And just as a final reminder, please fill out that survey at the end of this webinar. And I hope y'all have a relaxing weekend. Thanks, everyone.